And now back to Rivers State, where the sole administrator has been dragged to court regarding appointment for administrators on the 23 local government areas. And now to make sense a bit of this on the constitutional laws that might have been broken or will be broken, we have legal practitioner Evans Ufeli. Mr. Ufeli, many thanks for doing this with us. We appreciate you for coming on. Just to get started very quickly, because we're pressed for time, can you clarify the specific powers and limitations of the Rivers State administrator in making appointments to local government areas?
Rivers State administrators have no powers under any law in Nigeria. What we have is an aberration. The president has created a behemoth. The president has created an albatross. Because what is happening today is that he's exercising power that he does not possess. What kind of law is governing the rule of Rivers State? The law of the president. Anything the president says now is law. That is the fruit of illegality growing and waxing strong. We cannot have a democracy where the president will remove a democratically elected governor and then sustain government by an unelected representative. Now, the word representative does not even come to play. An unelected person, unelected stranger to govern the people, who is now acting outside the law. First of all, he was appointed outside the law. So everything he's going to do from the beginning to the end is going to be a nullity. That is why he's been called to come to court to show cause why he will have to disobey court orders.
Right.
And the days to come is going to be interesting.
The days to come will be interesting indeed. I mean, and at this point, it begs to ask the question, what the legal consequences, if it is found that the LGA appointments were made in violation of the law, what will be the legal consequences? The
legal consequences is that the court will disband all such appointments. Because even the appointment of the sole administrator himself was wrongful. So you cannot put something and expect it to stand. Lord Denning said that in UAC versus Markford, that if a matter is void, the law is a nullity, as you cannot put something on nothing and expect it to stand. We warned against this level of illegality. We warned that this sole administrator should not be allowed to carry on the activities of governance in Rivers State. Because, first of all, he was sworn into office by a non-existent law. Okay? And have you ever seen that in Nigeria, where someone will be sworn into office, you will take an oath of office with a non-existent law? So what is he going to administer, and who is he going to administer? And under what law is he doing all that? It's an aberration. So the president is toiling with democracy, playing politics with our hard-earned democracy. And I find that very unfortunate and disconcerting. That the people of Rivers State will sit and watch such illegality going on. Thank God the court is intervening now, and the court will put a right what is right and what is constitutional in Rivers State.
In the lane or in the path of doing what is right, what then would now be the procedures that must be followed by the Rivers State administrator when making appointments to local government areas? Does he even have the power to do that?
He doesn't have the power. There's nothing right about him. The sole administrator in Rivers State is like taking a poisonous leaf to a purification feast. You don't take a poisonous leaf to a purification feast because you are going to mess everything up entirely. It's not known to law. He is not known to law. And the earlier we dispose him, the better. We must use the law to kill the mosquito that bites the slave, because we have no guarantee that if it sees the bottom of the king, it will not do the same. That's where we are. We have to use the same law to pull him out, to extinguish his administration, and reinstill the person who is democratically elected to lead the state and to govern. Anything short of that, we cannot even use the court to determine what is legal or otherwise by the sole administrator in River State. You can't use the law to correct what is already an established wrong. His existence and his operations have no breadth of law. It's unknown to law. As it stands now, River State have no governor, have no leaders, or have no leadership whatsoever, democratically speaking. What you have there is an aberration. You have, an albatross, more like creating something from nothing that will not stand.
In the meantime, are there any complications here? One has to ask, to what extent do the political dimensions of local government appointments complicate the legal aspects of this summons?
Well, the summons was necessary because the judiciary have to intervene. That's what they call judicial review. Once there's conflict in the land, it behoves of the courts, when its attention is drawn to it by any of the mode of commencement of legal action, for the courts to interpret the law, make a judicial review of the scenario, and come up with a verdict as to what should be the solution, as to what should be governance, what should be right or wrong. Okay? So either ways, the court is still going to step in. An implication of the court stepping in is to interpret the law. And there's nowhere in the law where it is said that under Section 305 you should appoint a sole administrator and depose the governor. Nowhere. We don't know where the president got it from. And wherever he got it from, they got it all wrong. And the law will never condone that. And one thing we must also know is that the president's expression cannot be law. This is not a monarchy. But what we are practicing in River State today, you cannot call it democracy. We can say it's Tinubu's law, that is, whatever he says now is well, because the sole administrator is answerable to him and FEC.
All right.
And that for me is unfortunate, more like a coup that cannot survive the test of time.
All right. I must say thank you, Evans, for just taking out the time to join us. Evans Ufeli, legal practitioner, giving us a bit of insight following the court summoning of the sole administrator of River State.